Bull or bear? Oh, and she's going on the floor, still spinning too. Comes up a bear. That was my 1987 US $1 constitutional coin in proof. It's not so proof anymore, more like an impaired proof, but cool coins, by the way. One of the products that I talk about, there are really good deals out there instead of Silver Eagles, is the US commemorative dollar coins from 1982 and up. Well, anyways, we'll get to that in a bit. This got the live underwater Deerfield cam up. Lots of bait out there. There's my cursor. I thought that was a booger on my screen or something like that. I don't know what the hell that was. Not that I put boogers on my screen, but I started to scratch that off, but I realized it's just it's on the camera lens, and it's probably a little bit of algae. All right. Well, anyways, what a great way to start out the morning talking about boogers, huh? So let's get into the quote of the day. I don't have a lot to talk about. I just kind of wanted to get into what we saw this morning, which was the monkey hammering of gold and silver prices. But first, the quote of the day by somebody we all know out of the Chicago area, too, the same place that the crooks at the CME Group operate, in my opinion. They're crooks. It's a racket. Those stock market guys are crooked, said Al Capone. Wish I could do it in his voice, but you get the point there. And who is he probably talking about? Well, again, in his backyard is the CME Group, the world's leading derivatives marketplace, housed in Chicago. Go figure. Al Capone knew a racket when he saw one, and that's exactly what we got with the, and why do I talk about the CME Group? Well, folks, for those that don't know, this is where the price of gold and silver is derived in the world's leading derivatives marketplace. Now, you know what derivatives are. Derivatives are, well, who really knows what the hell derivatives are? The bunch of paper instruments that really are meaningless to most Americans and quite convoluted, if you ask me. But no less, it has nothing to do with real gold and silver. It has everything to do with crooked paper markets. So let's get into these crooked markets. Up substantially from where I saw it this morning, getting monkey hammered. And again, the monkey hammering is in the COMEX futures group. It's in the derivatives group. It's where the big banks go and they start throwing around big money. Not as not even probably even as speculators, more as big 800-pound gorillas that can move markets in the directions they want them to go in order for them to make millions and, well, billions. Why have millions when you why have billions when you can have millions? But billions of dollars that the big crooked traders, commercial traders out there, like who is it? Bank of America would be one, J.P. Morgan. And again, when I say crooked traders, this is my opinion and the opinion of people that are much smarter than me that could even see these things much easier than we can. Guys like Ted Butler, people like the guys at gata.org, all the other bloggers and people that talk about this. And well, anyways, we know that the price of gold, silver, and platinum for sure, and as well as palladium, but we'll talk about gold and silver mostly, are derived in the CME Group's marketplace. The CME Group's marketplace is a giant derivative paper bullshit marketplace, in my opinion, and again, people's opinion that's way smarter than me. But meanwhile, what are they doing? They're hammering the price down and hammering. If you gotta have a product manipulated in any direction, where would you rather see it go? Down? And again, there's one thing that everyone acknowledges out there that understands these markets and understands how marketplaces work in general. And this applies to a lot of other things as well. The crooks, they can break it only for so long, and at some point it falls apart in front of them. It falls to pieces. And when the gold and silver and platinum market falls to pieces, boy, we can get all kinds of reactions from that. You'll see some gyrations, then you'll see some down market, and then you'll see a huge up market to the upside. And again, this can only happen in markets where there's actually a real physical product being traded. All right, well, what am I saying? Buy the frickin' dips. If you can buy the frickin' dips, buy them. Excuse me, let me get a sip of this coffee here. Cheers to my morning coffee drinkers out there as well. Buy the frickin' dips when you can. And if you can't buy the frickin' dips and you're already bought in and you're saying like, Brian, man, I already bought in, well, enjoy your summer vacation here. Wait for things to happen. In my opinion, buy the dips. In my opinion, don't sell into these dips at all. just sit and hold if you can't buy these dips, because again, it's a gift. I really believe that the gold, silver, and platinum prices are gifts. And I know I've been saying that for quite some time, but really they've been gifts for quite some time. All the real activity in the spot prices and the prices that we use to derive these numbers so that we can buy our gold, silver, and platinum are derived in a crooked marketplace, folks. And it is. It's for sure. It's factual. It's proven. And it's not just my opinion. This is the opinion of people that are way smarter than me, all right? So, you know, why you can buy this product as cheap as you possibly can, because when it moves to the next level, you're going to say, I wish I owned it. And it's the same thing, you know, people that, there's going to be a lot of naysayers out there that are listening to me right now, and they're going to say, oh, well, you know, gold's never going to get back up to 2,500, it's going to go back down to 1,500, and you know, those are the same people that when gold was approaching that 1,500 level, which it took a long time for it to get to, said it would never get, you know, would never get to 1,500. It's going to go back to 12. And the people that said it was never going to get to 12, or this, it's going to go back to 800, or the same people that said when it got to 800, it's never going to go back. You know, so believe me on this, you're not getting rich quick on gold, silver, and platinum. Can you get rich quick on gold, silver, and platinum? Hell yeah, you can. But you know, you have to be a buy, hold, and watch. You know, unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that don't pay attention to these markets. But you know, when the gold market really, silver market explodes, everybody and their brother knows about it. You know, your hairdresser will be just talking about the Krugerrands that she bought. So, but no less, these prices are really super cheap, and they were on the cheap this morning. Take a look at that, 1926.32 in the early morning bullshit markets, the Crimex, NYMEX, whatever you want to call them. Markets where this type of activity occurs. Also in the London bullion markets. We know that that's like a big crooked marketplace as well. And all the banks collusively work in these different markets here. The overnight markets, the NYMEX markets, the Crimex, you name it, all right? But man, take a look at that. That was on the cheap this morning, $9.65. Gold on the cheap at $19.26 and silver $23.25. The strength of silver is much greater than I expect. I think that the real monkey hammering right now and the real big short positions are currently in gold, more so than silver as it has been in the past. You know, Ted Butler points out pretty clearly that the commercials, the big commercials in the short positions have reduced their short positions dramatically. Ted thinks it's because they were told to do it. But you know, that couldn't be public information, because if it was, it would ruin the credibility of markets. There'd be lawsuits going against the CME, crooked CME Group. Again, that's my opinion, that they're crooks. All right, let's move along here. Take a look at those low prices, and boy, that's quite a bounce there. So gold's showing some strength. You know, the problem with gold is not the problem with gold. The upside to gold is that, yeah, they can hammer it in the COMEX markets. They can. You know, these big commercial banks have enough money on the short term, you know, through their bullshit bidding processes or whatever they use to monkey hammer these markets around, spoofing and all that other crap. They can move these markets around in gold, but not as easily as they can in silver. Silver's such a small marketplace. That's why it's so obvious how those big banks and now apparently a managed money position go in there and collusively move the price of silver around. But gold, not so much. You know, remember, gold trades in India, trades in China, trades in Russia, trades in, you know, all the BRICS countries as well. And central banks own gold. So central banks are not going to, all over the world own gold, and central banks are not going to allow some commercial bankers to destroy their marketplace per se. You know, they may turn a blind eye to it, especially now. I do believe the price of gold is being suppressed somewhat with the blind eye turned to maybe even major suppression. Listen, why would the Fed or the United States government want to encourage BRICS nations to continue buying gold and gold to go up, which only makes it better for them? I don't think they would want that at all. And in fact, I think there's probably might be some kind of war on gold somewhat, considering that the BRICS nations are talking about backing up their shit with real money, gold. But anyways, I digress. That's a whole different topic. Buy the frickin' dips, folks. I think that's a good deal out there. And you know, the thing is too, take a look at this, 1926. I mean, that's substantial, man. Remember, we were sitting at $2,000 gold not too long ago. That's $75 per ounce. You know, again, on that morning bullshit low, paper derivative bullshit low. And the same thing with silver. Look at 23, 25. Silver's got some legs, though, man. There's something going on. The shortage problem, I think, is why silver's got legs. There is a genuine shortage. And remember I told you when they break markets? Well, that's what they've done to silver. They broke this frickin' market with their paper derivative bullshit. More paper than there is real silver out there. And that's why I think that we're seeing silver as strong as it is, and the silver to gold ratio being as tight as it is right now. Gold not showing the same legs and strength as silver, but gold is not, you know, there is no lack of gold out there. There's lots of gold out there, folks. I mean, there's no, there may be lack of certain products out there, but there is no lack of gold like there is silver. Silver is, the market is completely drained out there of physical silver to a big degree, and the problem is there's no more coming online. Scrap sales are down basically to zip on silver, so they're not getting silver through scrap sales. Mining is down substantially, and the cost of mining is up. There's all kind, and going to be even more so, giving a lot of factors like you know, strikes at certain mines in Mexico, and the rising cost of running a mine, including fuel costs, I think, which we're going to see shoot up dramatically. Silver market is absolutely frickin' broken, and you don't want to own their paper bullshit. What you want to own is the real stuff, folks, because it's much rarer than gold right now above ground, I believe. I really believe that. Availability, not ounces. You know, there's a lot of silver in landfills, that's for sure, but available above ground silver, I believe there's less available than there is gold out there. And that's, you know, again, I didn't make that stuff up either. I've heard that from people way smarter than me. There's so many people that are way smarter than me, damn it. But, you know, if you're going to learn, who do you want to learn from? Smart people. So what we don't have out there in the price of gold, silver, and platinum is capitulation. There's no capitulation. And what is capitulation, folks? Well, this is what organically, genuinely moves markets. Capitulation. And Investopedia, which I like a lot because they give it to you pretty simple, and they give you the key takeaways like this. Capitulation means when a significant proportion of investors succumb to fear and sells over a short period of time, causing the price of security or market to drop sharply amid high trading volume. Well, you know, that's certainly what we would think we saw this morning. We've seen this last month or so with the price of gold and silver being so down substantially from where it was. Well, not substantially, but down from where it was. But no, folks, there's no capitulation of you know, silver products, especially silver. Let me stick with silver. There's no capitulation of silver out there. Real silver, you know, bars, coins, you know, that type of product, scrap, whatever it may be. There is no capitulation of that. In fact, there are more and more buyers. Maybe some capitulation in some bullshit paper derivatives in the CME Group's market on silver, again, which is giving us the ability to buy this stuff so much cheaper. And it says also capitulation marks a short-term low in the price and is followed by at least a relief rally. Until the price rebounds significantly, there can be no assurance that apparent capitulation won't be followed by additional dramatic drops. Capitulation causes heavy turnover among investors, enable a rebound by replacing risk-averse sellers with risk-tolerant buyers. Well, anyways, you get what capitulation is. And what we don't have in gold, silver, and platinum markets, and really, let me focus on silver because you know, I believe there is gold out there to back up most of their contracts out there. Not sure if a lot of the gold contracts, well, maybe the gold contracts in the COMEX group are naked as well, like the silver ones, in my opinion. Well, anyways, let's just say that we're not seeing any physical capitulation of real silver in the investor markets whatsoever. And I'm talking about real silver, I'm not talking about paper. All right, I could beat that dead horse all day long, and we do oftentimes. What's going on in the news world? Good article by VBL. I like him. Tom Luongo, I think Gold, Guns, and Goats is another guy I like to read. And I like the way they talk, too. They throw out a few profanities once in a while. It's real street people, man. That's or people that have their feet grounded with the working guy out there. Anyway, China is Barzini, Mexico's tax. Good stuff here. Not going to get into it. He did a little write-up he did there, but he has a good podcast. Recommend that you guys watch that. And what else is going in here? Nothing that, of course, you know, if you want to get rid of somebody, just accuse them of that or plant some porn on their computer or something like that. Tired of hearing about AI. It's overrated. NASA blocks. It's just a glorified search engine with whatever they want you to know. I mean, I'm not saying it can't provide some, you know, handiness. You know what I mean? It's a little better than a search engine. but not much. NASA blocked. The whole institution of the U.S. government is just freaking screwed, folks. It really is. I don't know how these people got in. And I'm not talking about these people right here, that I'm pointing to. I don't care what people do in their personal lives as long as they don't, I don't want to hear about it any more than I want to hear about my grandparents' sexual lives, but and stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm fine with that. But the idea that I don't know, our government is getting involved with certain groups or not getting involved with certain groups. We're in a very dangerous, precarious place right now. Government should completely be unbiased and just follow the fucking Constitution. All right, I said it. I think there's the F word for the week. All right, kind of cool thing. Speaking of bullshit AI, all right, hang on. Is there anything else out there we need to? Initial claims at highest since 2021. Yeah, I think we're going to see higher joblessness coming up. You can never underestimate the U.S. government or the Fed and their ability to just delay things to a long period of time. And I kind of think that's what we're seeing. One sec. Grabbing my coffee there. There we go. A little more. I'm just amazed that the whole system hasn't blown up yet, I guess. Yet is the key word here. And it will. I have a feeling politically, economically, man, we're going to see some epic stuff coming up, but who knows when, and how, it's amazing how long they can kind of prolong all this stuff as well. But I do believe that most Americans and most people in the world that are connected to televisions and computers are pretty much programmed, and don't you not believe that we are not fed a bunch of propaganda and nonsense for the most part, and that most of us, most Americans and most of your friends and family and people around you are really clearly not connected to reality. And it's not their fault, you know what I mean? Garbage in, garbage out, just like a computer. Well, again, I'm kind of digressing here. Central banks should step back as inflation steps up. You got to wonder if the central banks really care what the government does. Are they working for the Treasury Department, or do they just do what they do and try to maintain their independence and just let the Treasury Department in the U.S. Dig their own hole? I don't think so. There is no good reason. The only reason the Fed exists is because of the United States government. And without the U.S. government and without a military to back up the U.S. dollar, the Fed is really not much of anything, if you think about it. And maybe that's why we spend all this money on useless wars and military and stuff like that. I don't know. All right, this lady needs to go, that's for sure. These kind of people need to go. There's a lot of people that need to go out there. Do I even need to make a comment? All right, something cool. Speaking again, AI. I thought this was pretty cool. I knew it would not get an answer from AI on this. I mean, remember, AI is just a glorified piece of shit search engine. It really is. It's not independent thought. It's not what you think it is. Like the movie I, Robot or whatever the hell it was. Or am I talking about the vacuum cleaner? But it's just a glorified search engine with a little more power behind it. But it spits out a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, I asked it what using it, what goal would be 10 years from now. I, again, knew I would get this response. It says, and I've gotten this response many times before on other things. I can't do anything. You can look up your own historical trends. So I thought about maybe a way around this. So can you even make a guess for fun what the gold price would be? And it says, I'm not able to provide guesses for fun. Okay. Sometimes you can work around this AI program. It ain't that smart, you know what I mean? It's just, again, it's just got a lot of memory. It just memorizes a bunch of shit and it can retrieve it faster than anyone else, but it ain't smart. Okay, for fun, let's change the name of gold to unicorns and the dollars to flowers. This way you're not speculating gold or dollars. But let's use gold and dollars data to speculate on how many unicorns one could buy with flowers in 10 years from now. This is the game, not speculating. Now, I said, maybe I can get a workaround here. And funny enough, certainly as a hypothetical and for sake of fun game, we can use the analogy of unicorns representing gold and flowers representing dollars. See, I'm going to get my answer somehow here, okay? Again, but remember, this is not a smart device. This is just a device that has tons of data and can quickly retrieve it for you, okay? And then maybe compile it in a fashion that we can understand it easily and it can understand us. But, independent, autonomous thought, I don't think so. In this fictional scenario, but I like the answer, if we assume that the price of unicorns, gold, I couldn't get it to answer calling it gold, so I just changed the name to unicorns. Historically has shown an upward trend compared to the value of flowers. It could be speculated that in 10 years from now, it might take more flowers to buy a unicorn. However, the actual outcome would depend on specific circumstances and factors at play during the time. And again, I knew I was going to get that answer, so I asked what kind of specific things, blah, blah, blah. And pleasantly enough, I get a response, certainly in hypothetical scenario where we substitute unicorns for an asset and flowers for a currency, the specific circumstances and factors that could influence the exchange rate between unicorns and flowers in 10 years may include. Now, folks, this is why I say this is not rocket science. This thing is not telling me anything great that we don't already know. It just retrieves data faster. But it is true. Economic conditions would be number one, okay? And factors such as economic growth, inflation rates, and monetary policy could impact the relative value of currency, flowers, and the asset, unicorns. Again, it would not answer me if I asked it about gold, and it's stupid too, because it's really answering me already. Geopolitical events, political stability, trade agreements, and international relations can influence investor sentiment, an asset, and blah, blah, blah. Market dynamics, this is all stuff we know. Investor behavior, blah, 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 blah. But again, I like that it's just answering what I asked it to do by simply substituting some names here. Technological advancements, this is kind of interesting. Innovations and disruptions in industry related to the asset could impact its value relative to the currency. Good answer. I mean, something, and this is a good thought too. Disruptions, strikes at mines, South African gold mines being down because of lack of electricity, Mexican silver mines strikes, silver mine strikes in Peru, raises in cost in mining. I mean, these are disruptions in industry, so it's absolutely correct. And regulatory changes, last and least, the scumbags in DC and elsewhere, and the worthless regulators. Believe me, the CFTC will come to action when it comes to taxing your gold or finding some way to get money out of your pocket, but they're certainly not going to help us prevent the big banks from stealing from us. But anyway, I digress again. Influence your respective values. Well, I thought you would find this interesting, and again, I could not really get it to give me any kind of, I didn't spend much time trying to figure out how to do it, but I couldn't really get it to give me any kind of thought where it's kind of shut down after that. It was weird. After I did that, it shut down, it didn't want to use, and it says that it doesn't have any access to past data, but meanwhile, where does it get its information from? So, I mean, I'm just confused about that. Again, nothing smart about AI. The people that think it's smart are probably, the European and the people out there say AI is going to come after us. Folks, they obviously haven't used it. All right, yesterday's video, they all knew, they all did this, and by this man right here. And I used the title because it fit appropriately with the crookedness that we have in our markets, our specific silver markets, but it carries over to everything else. It carries over to other markets, oil markets, it carries over to politics, economics, you name it. The crookedness is just all around us, folks. We are in clown world. We are definitely in the what you call Superman's bizarro world right now, where everything is the opposite. War is good, war is peace, whatever, and all that other stuff. All right. Here, I'm going to answer some questions from yesterday's video. Not too many, 16 comments. Again, I'd like to thank everybody. LEQR9HC, thank you very much. Headed Joel, there he is. There will never be a day without paper derivatives. There's no real winning in this game. It'll always be control. We think we're all smart. You haven't been listening, hot-headed Joel. That's kind of what I've been telling you right here. There will be a day, and it's not going to go away. It's a 5,000-year-old asset, gold and silver. It's not like going to go bankrupt, unless you let someone else hold it for you, or you believe in that paper bullshit. The paper derivative markets completely control the silver market and the gold market to some degree right now, and at some point they will lose control of it, and they've done it in our lifetime a few times where it just went epic. At some point, I think they're just going to lose control of it entirely. And it's going to cost them big, and then maybe some changes will come to the marketplace. People that got burned in the derivatives markets will never play that game again. The physical markets will be on their own. But again, I don't know. I'm just guessing there. Bahama 707, these folks, yep, they did, and it is absolutely that. And yeah, here we go again. Thank you, appreciate that. And I think you're probably right about that, but boy, he's a breath of fresh air for sure. And again, was never watched him prior to that. I don't watch corporate news, whether it's Fox, whether it's CNBC, and NBC, CNN. I don't watch any of them. Don't trust them. None of them. They call it, even if they call themselves, right or conservative, bullshit. I don't trust any of them, and I didn't watch them there, but have been watching them on the most recent free speech forum called Twitter. All right, and I believe it is really a free speech forum. I really believe that, as free as we're going to get. And that and Rumble, okay? But anyway, again, I digress. Kyle Bass got his quote, "Thanks, I'll take the gold." That is legendary for sure. Michael Matthews, a sip of coffee as well. Joe McDonald, do you see any way around CBDC? I'm sure to pay taxes, property taxes, to get refunds. NSI, we'll need to use Fed coin. I see the whites of their eyes. Well, when you see the whites of their eyes, fire, sir. I'm going to refuse to take it. Maybe I'll just be a minority. Maybe I will have to take it, but turn it into something that I trust. Ammo or guns. I'm only kidding. I'm not an ammo buyer, really. I'm not. I got enough just to fire and run away. The Fed pause didn't do shit as always. Gold. Yep. The Fed was bullshit, man, Chris. Yeah, they use the Fed speak to, again, the crooks in the Crimex, LMBA, and the Crimex markets, on silver and gold, the big commercial crooks, and now it seems the smaller crooks, the managed money crooks that are in there right now, just use this type of news and information from the Fed to drive the market down. They can't just do it for no reason. They usually do it in cycles of, when the Fed speaks, they drive the market down one way or another. When certain data comes out, they drive the market down. Again, it's purposeful, trust me. And again, it's nothing to do with real capitulation. Walter Paul says clean key date coins is worth, I guess it depends on how much the discount is. 16D mercury dimes are always rare, even in clean condition. But when you can always buy a better grade, they're easier to sell. Clean coins are difficult to sell. That's the problem with them. But it's a loaded question because how cheap is the real question. And I'm in the business. I'll buy clean coins all the time, but they got to be at my price, and I kind of know where I need to go with them if I want to sell them quick. If you want to take a long time and wait for the guy who just needs to fill one in this hole and get eBay prices, then you got to sell it on eBay, and I'm not really an eBay seller. But clean stuff sells better on eBay than it does anywhere else, believe it or not. And I think that's because there's no one there to tell most guys not to buy it. And I don't know. But I'd always go for better coins. But if you can't afford the higher grade, then you want to fill that hole. Get the key date, yeah. But just buy it as cheap as you possibly can. A Kiwi friend of mine came to Aussie for a holiday. She has a heap of American $2 notes. Yeah, we made $2 notes. They're hoarded notes, like Eisenhower dollars, Ike dollars, and a lot of those presidential dollars that people think are gold. That amazes me. But it's a hoarded note. Again, it's something that Americans, when they saw it, they hoarded them. I don't know why. They felt there was some value to them. When silver was 50, everything sold in the 40s. Yep, I remember that in, probably 1980s. Silver had gone to $50 an ounce, thereabouts. But the refineries stopped buying at 40. They were overloaded with silver. They couldn't possibly, process it fast enough, and they were worried about the price dropping. So refiners just stopped buying at like $40 an ounce. There was a $10 an ounce per discount. This is why I tell all you guys not to pay stupid premiums on stuff, because if silver does go meteoric, and it does start to back off some, or look like it's going to, then all of a sudden you're going to be getting the same price for your Eagles as a guy with a 100-ounce bar standing next to you, $10 an ounce less. Anyway, thanks for watching this show, folks, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here. And you can also catch me out in the free speech forum called Twitter. You can find me on, if you don't find me in, sorry about that, let me just go back here. If you don't find me on this particular social media channel, YouTube, You can find me here as well. I'm kind of posting things out there just as a backup because you never know. Sometimes you might say something they don't like. You can also find me on LinkedIn and the Wall Street Silver Reddit group, which is pretty cool. Hello to all you apes out there. And don't forget, next week, the Lakeland Collectorama Show. If you live in Florida and you like gold, silver, and platinum products, you like collectibles, you like rare coins, all kinds of cool stuff, make sure you come to the show. There's free tickets right there. And believe it or not, I run the show. My father passed it on to me. He passed away last year, and I guess I'm a show promoter now. June 21st to the 24th, or 22nd to the 24th. Dealers come in 21st. If you're a dealer, you'd like to get a table, I have a few left. Catch it now while you can. And if you do collectibles, we're happy with you coming in as well. We welcome collectible dealers. Whatever it is you sell, as long as it's legal, we're cool with it. Free tickets right here for you and the family, though. And again, the collectoramashow.com, you can find it there. And if you're buying gold, silver, and platinum products anywhere from $1 worth to millions of dollars worth, come see us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. We beat Atmex, we beat SD, we beat JM Bullion, the guys online. We beat the 800-pound gorillas, and they're more common, reasonably priced products. We'll also beat the locals down here as well. If you don't live in South Florida and you're buying larger quantities, give us a call. We also ship larger quantities too. Of course, I always recommend if you can find yourself a good local dealer, do that first because, you know, avoid the shipping, got a good guy locally, good advice. But if you can't find anyone local, give us a call. Thanks, have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now.